Okay. Welcome back to Trigun Stampede. Anime review, episode number 4. We're reviewing the 4th episode of the series, Hungry. Yes. This episode's debut of 2 characters. Second one I'll talk about a little bit later, but the first one I talk about is this episode is the debut of Nicholas D. Wormwood. Yeah, this is his debut, and once again, he has a new dub actor. He is on his 3rd dub actor. I'm not kidding about that. For some strange reason, and this is not my Crunchyroll, and I do not know the reason for this. It is by far one of the most baffling things related to the series. Like, oh, let's just replace his dub actor for no reason. By the way, in case you're curious though, his original dub actor was Jeff Nimoy. And you might be curious though, is he related to Leonard Nimoy? It's his cousin. Yep. Yeah, that's all it is. He's his cousin. Yep. He played him in the original anime. In the Trigun Badlands film, he was played Brad Hawkins. If you're not familiar with this guy played Triforia, aka the Gold Ranger from Power Rangers Zeo. But in anime, aside being this man, he's also the voice of Tiki Meek from D. Gray Man, Louis Walma from Black Clover. He was also My Hero Academia as Sukutu Makibi. Oh yeah, he's also the voice of the Goblin Slayer. Yep, the Goblin Slayer. Yes, he's the voice of the main character of that series. Now, this guy, he's in My Hero Academia is a character who is identified as Mr. Smith, who actually just returned. This character, I think, is going to return pretty soon. I think he just showed up in the manga. I think he did. Yes. Hasn't done many anime. He even did Fairy Tail voice character Bloodman. Yeah, not a lot of anime for this guy. And this guy has been He's been active in the acting industry since '94. Oh yeah, he also played, get this, he was also in a series that I've been meaning to discuss a bit on the Metal Heroes reviews, VR Troopers. Yes, this is the guy who was the star of the series. Yep, so... And then once again with this one, we have a brand new dub actor for him. Who is the replacement dub actor for Trigun Stampede? David Matra. And, Matarega. If you don't know the name, perhaps you're familiar with his character from My Hero Academia, Shudo Todoroki, the son of Endeavor. Yep, that is who we have voicing Nicholas D. Wormwood. Now, I'm looking at a picture of him, how his gun looked, his Punisher, which they don't name in this episode, but it's his Punisher. Appearance-wise, it's not much different from the original series, except it's a different color. It functions the same way. And personality-wise, he's not much different than he was in the original series. Still smokes. And you might be curious, though, in terms of the anime, like in the original one, what was the episode he first showed up in, you might ask? Well, if you're really curious about this, it's the first appearance in the... In the manga, he made his debut in chapter 18. That's pretty much where he made his debut. In terms of the original anime, because here he made his debut in the 4th episode of the series. Yep. But you might be asking, okay, what about the original series, you might ask? Let's see if I can find it here, because let's see. I'm trying to find it here. Excuse me. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. His first appearance in the original anime was actually in episode 9. Yep. Episode 9. Well, at least gotta praise this series for something. Has this guy featured a lot sooner than the original series. We had to wait 9 episodes for this character's debut. And this one, only a few episodes. Not bad. So we see Nicholas D. Wormwood. We start the episode of him just walking to the desert wearing his suit. And he's not wearing any socks. Or at least he's wearing ankle socks. And it is pointed out, though, in the episode, it's the desert. In the original series, it was never pointed out much how hot it was. At least in this series, they acknowledge the fact that it's hot outside. Or it's a desert planet. So he walks for a while, and then we see Vash apparently is, hitched a ride with Mero and Roberto, hiding in their backseat of their, let's just say, their van, which has a version of an AC, which is a fan. Yes, a fan is their air conditioning. Because it's like the Old West there. Because apparently they do believe technology, it's just that the technology they have is very scarce, and it's provided by the plants. So, then of course they run into Nicholas D. Wormwood by trying to avoid him, and then he gets smacked with a trailer. I'm not kidding about that. And the fact he gets hit, and he gets up, no problem. I'm not kidding about that. He gets up, no problem. And despite the fact he's bleeding from the head, you're probably thinking, bleeding from the head, he's able to move around, no problem. It reminds me of Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach. Just by sheer coincidence, we just happen to have Johnny M. Bosch's Vash. Yep. So, they basically have him hitch a ride. They take it to a diner known as Plant. Yeah, I thought this is kind of weird. This, I believe, is the first episode not to feature an actual, most of the episodes feature Plant itself until the end of the episode gets it. So, they arrive at Hope and tell, like, oh no, the couple's murdered. Who killed him? I asked. Well, we found this kid in his locker. And then we have this worm pop up out of nowhere. Now, this reminds me of seeing clips from Dune. I've never seen Dune, but yeah, this reminds me of Dune. Where they're inside of a worm. Apparently, it's like the head honcho because of all the dragonflies inside. They've heard of electrolytes, but appearance-wise, those are dragonflies. Who can light up for who basically electrolytes. So, the kid basically gets lost. Apparently, the restaurant is dragged in too, along with their vehicle, which is interesting to say the least. Yes, because it's a worm. It's like a version of a basically a megalodon shark. Where is that big? Apparently, it's a community. It's the head honcho. The kid don't know who he really is when I finish talking about it. So they look for the kid. Of course, Meryl finds him while the other three look in the cave. He gives them his nicknames. He gives Meryl Short Lady. He calls her Little Lady. He calls Vash Needle Hair. Or he calls Roberto Old Man. Which, yeah, that kind of makes sense for him. Though he is older than some of them. But Vash is the one who's actually older than he is. Vash is like 200, while Roberto, I think, is supposed to be about 40 or 50, I'd say. Meryl is in her early 20s. So, while Vash and Nicholas does not find anything, and Roberto, by Roberto, the whole episode is probably sure and talk because it's hot. So, yeah, and of course they get separate, and he disappears somehow. It's not really explained, and yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, oh, Meryl's thinking about this mysterious horror show type of thing. Oh, Meryl disappears, and then Roberto disappears, which is something the episode does not about to explain how the heck this is possible. It's presumed it's the worm, but it's not exactly specifically revealed. So, Nicholas and Vash basically manage to get out of the frickin' worm by basically crawling its nose and then get reabsorbed by the damn thing. And of course they battle and of course some of the kids responsible for unleashing this worm, which looks different than worms I've seen. And it turns out this actually, by the way, the episode reveals to be Zast the Beast, who is a character who appeared in the previous series in episode. He actually made his debut in the second chapter of Trigun Maximum. That's where he made his debut. In the original series, he made his debut at episode number 22. Yep. Oh, and he has dub actor. You might be thinking, who in the world is his voice actor? Madeline Morris. That's who voices him. A 30-year-old woman. Oh yeah, this is the woman who voices Rudeus Garrett on Mushoku Tensei Jobless Incarnation. And she is also Ika on Fire Force. Is Nifa on Attack on Titan. Look at these characters, you see what I mean. A couple characters on My Hero Academia, Yu Cody and Kaminora Ikuma. Clem from How to Summon Demon Lord. Tokyo Ri as Chi Hidori. And Morris Sela. She's Viola from the second season of Eighth Attorney. She's Aaron from Plunderer. Clara Vargas from How Real Is Hero Built the Kingdom, which I believe is the most recent series I've actually seen her in. Yep. Aside from this one, that is. Yeah. Yeah, and she's only like, believe it or not, she's only like a couple years, she's like about 5 years younger than I am. Yeah, about 5 years because her birthday is this month. Actually, it's next month. Yeah, next month she's going to be 31. Yep. But, let's see. So, the kid escapes, and turns out he's actually working with Nicholas for some reason. Though they have a celebration to eat the worm afterwards with these desert people, who one of them sounds like he's voiced by Todd Heppercorn. Yes, seriously, I can tell it's him because of his voice. I know Todd Heppercorn's voice. I've seen a ton of his anime. Yep, and that's the episode. Pretty good episode, except the one thing that I got pointed out, though, is a plot hole in the episode. How the heck did they never bother to explain what happened to Roberto? I mean, it's implied that maybe the worm itself got to Meryl, but Roberto, he just disappeared. And even I basically saw that too, along with Vash and Nicholas. Yeah. And of course, Nicholas introduced himself in the episode. Vash tries to introduce himself. It's like, Vash and Stampede. It's like, oh, Needle Hair. I do not know why you can't forget about their actual name. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. But yeah, really good episode. Loved it. And you might be curious, though, what about the remaining 2 episodes? Well, that won't happen until tomorrow at this point in time. Yep. So, next up, couple comic corners, and that'll be it for the evening, okay? Next video. Bye.